is the most important thing to you about your painting? What is it that you feel motivated by in order to paint? Well, this is what this video is going to be about. And it's also going to give you some guidelines as how to elevate your painting so you're really happy and it's how you want it to be. My name is Joy Fay and I'm an artist and I'm also a teacher. And I've had an interesting journey on my painting life. I actually started painting many years ago, over 40 years ago. And that started because of a really traumatic event that happened in my life. And my godfather, who was an artist, suggested I started painting to help me get over this awful event, which is what I did. And I started with watercolours, and it was wonderful when I think about it now, and it really helped me for so many reasons, because it takes you, when you're painting, it takes you into a whole different space, in your brain, in your mind, and it helps you kind of process whatever else is going on. And I got really fascinated by the English painter William Turner, who was the most fantastic watercolour artist, as well as oil painter. But his watercolours absolutely fascinated me, and that's where I started. And I painted a lot of watercolours for many years, and then other things happened and I went off on a different tangent. And it wasn't really till now, over 20 years ago, I moved to Spain, and I'm here near Malaga in southern Spain, that I started painting again. But I didn't start with watercolours. I started with abstract paintings. And again, that happened from another dramatic situation. My mother died, and to cope with that and to process that, I wanted to express my emotions. And I thought I'll try abstract painting with acrylics. So I started, and it was fantastic. And I just got completely hooked on abstracts and on using acrylic. And when people started looking at my paintings and asking me about them, they wanted me to show them what I was doing. So that's how I started teaching. So that was 23 years ago. So here we are, fast forward into 2023, which is incredible. And I've been teaching all this time, and it's been a wonderful journey of learning and discovery, and not just discovering about painting, but discovering about myself. And I think this is one of the most wonderful things about our artist journey. It connects us to something really creative and magical within ourselves. And I've had many students who have come and learned and enjoying the whole thing of painting. But there are a few key elements to make the experience even more satisfying. And that is a few rules, a few guidelines to help you get the congruency between what you want to express, those emotions, and how to bring that painting together. Now, I would say it's going from sort of chaos to order. When we first kind of put down our first layers of painting and we're feeling all those different emotions, once it's down there, sometimes you kind of go, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? So we've got the expression, and now we want to turn that expression into a magical painting. So how do we do that? Well, there are a few things that I've learned along the way that have made all the difference to how my paintings turn out at the end of the day. And I'm still learning, don't get me wrong. It's sometimes it really comes together and sometimes it doesn't, and all that is fine. But with a few key elements to start to apply in your painting, you will notice a difference. So I'm going to give you some of these interesting pointers to help you put that expression into some formula to help you get the satisfaction and the pleasure from an end result of a painting. I hope that makes sense. So the first thing, once you've done your layers and it's all there and you're kind of feeling excited, but then you're wondering what to do, the first thing you want to have a look at, number one, is look at your contrasts in colour. Or if you're doing in black and white, look at your contrast between your blacks through the grayscale to white. How are your contrasts? How are your colour values? Have you got lights? Have you got darks? So number one, how are those contrasts? So it might be that you need to just darken another colour or lighten another colour next to it. So you've got some variation between the light and the dark. How are your differences? Your difference in shapes. Are the shapes all the same size or are they different? If they're the same size, then it's more of a flatter plane. So you want to vary the shape sizes. So you've got some large shapes, you've got some medium-sized shapes, and you've got some small shapes. So even if it's just a simple painting, say you're just looking at squares, don't have all the squares the same size. Have a large one, have a medium one, have a small one. Have them in different colour contrasts. So you've got dark, you've got the mid-tones, and you've got light. So it creates that contrast and it creates that difference, which brings the painting really alive. The next thing you want to have a look at is your lines. If you've got lines in your paintings, are they the same? Are all the lines the same? Are the thin lines? Are the thick lines? And are the lines taking you out of the painting or are the lines bringing you into the painting? So look at the lines, thick, thin, medium, make them different. The next thing you want to be having a look at are your edges. So you need sharp edges and you need soft edges. You need blended edges. So again, where those contrasts are of all these things that we're talking about become the next most important thing, which is your focal point. Where are you looking? So when you've done this expression and it's all out there, then you start honing it in. You start putting a little bit of order into it by asking yourself these questions. My contrasts, my values, lights and darks. My differences, is the differences with one shape to another, is the differences with the colour values. How are my lines? Are they some thick, some thin, some circles, some squares, some triangles, some bringing you round into the painting? Where are those focal points? Are you going round the painting? Is there just one or is there too many? Is the painting too busy? Is it too flat? So you want a contrast of your focal point areas where lots is going on and soft areas where you can rest, where your eye can flow rather than too many focal points. And then the last thing is your layers and your textures. Have you got opaque areas? Have you got translucent areas? So when you start asking yourself these questions and you looking at your painting, it starts bringing that chaos into a formula to help that painting really come alive, to stand out, to look dynamic and powerful. Now, there's a lot to take in there. There's quite a few things that I've mentioned, and I'm going to list them below in the description. But also, I have a free mini course on abstract painting, which helps you understand these concepts. So whether you're a beginner just starting out or whether you've done a lot of painting before, this mini course will be helpful because it helps you sort out the painting once you've done your initial expression and layers. What do you do next? And what I suggest to many of my students is to list these down, to write them down and have them next to you so you can remember, because you can get so absorbed into the painting that you forget. And then you think, oh God, what am I supposed to be doing? And why isn't this going how I want it to go? If you've got that list next to you, you can remind yourself, how are my contrasts? How are my colour values? How are my differences? How are my lines? So you can then use the list to just do a kind of a check on your painting to see if you've applied those principles, which will elevate your painting to really great heights, and then that expression is really congruent with how you feel. So I hope you find that helpful, because it will really make a big difference to your painting if you apply these ideas. So I've put the list below, and I've also put the link to the free mini course. Go and take that. It's absolutely free. There are 4 really great lessons with demonstrations that I've done to help you understand this. I also have lots of other online classes which you might also find useful and helpful, on all different kinds of things, on composition, on colour mixing, on different ways to use acrylics and textures, loads of things, and the list again is below. So if you found this helpful and you like the video, do give me the thumbs up. And if you've got a question, ask me anything. I love to see your questions and your comments. It's always great to read them. And if you want more of these videos, press the notification. I bring out a video every week, and I have lots of things going on my website, all for artists. I have a membership site, Artist Connection group. I'm passionate about helping you get as much from your painting as you possibly can. That's my purpose, I think. I love painting, but I love teaching, and I love helping people really develop their skills and their own passion for painting. So I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video, and then we can get together again soon and enjoy this wonderful world of art.